and I have 5 different cards to share with you guys today that I have created over the past couple of weeks during the crazy holidays. I have 3 watercolor cards with some new dies. I have a stenciled card and a card with a crocheted flower on it. And I am filming today using my one daughter, as kind of a gag gift, got me a selfie stick. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? But I am using it to film right now, and it is awesome because it doesn't take up any space. My other setup was kind of cumbersome, so I just put my selfie stick in my little tool carousel, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but so far it's working great. And let's see. Okay, so this first card, it has these 2 little girls that I watercolored with Inktense pencils, and they have their Valentines. This is a Red Lead stamp, and Red Lead is an independent store out of St. Louis, and they have a website that they have all of their stamps on, and it's redlead.com, I believe. If you go to my blog, I have a link to their store. My blog is myboobike101@blogspot.com. Okay, so I colored them up. I used this new die that I picked up at Joann's. I picked up a few of the Anna Griffin dies that were on clearance. It cuts beautifully, it embosses beautifully, so I put that back behind here. The paper line I use for this, I have been picking up a couple of the 12-piece individual paper sets, and they've been on clearance for $2.99. And I have to say, I really like picking these up because I don't ever use a whole paper pad. So to have just 12 sheets for a less expensive price, I think is really great. I don't know why I haven't picked them up before, but I've picked up a couple of them recently. This is a baby set from American Crafts, special delivery, but there are no, other than the colors being pink, there are really no baby specific papers in them. So I used the hearts and this little sheet that has a whole bunch. It's a definition sheet that has a bunch of kind of lovely definitions on it. So that's the paper set I used. And then I altered these little wooden hearts that I picked up recently at Joann's for 50% off. I knew I was going to want to alter the color of some of them. So in this case, all I did was put gesso on them. And then I used the same Inktense pencil that I used for her coat and colored them with that, watered that down, and then put a little bit of Wink of Stella on there. And this is on watercolor paper base, very simple inside. And so the next card, I love this card. It's super simple, but I love it. I use this Hero Art stamp. I believe this might have been, I think I found this in like the winter section of Michael's, or the Christmas section. But I just think he's wintry. He's not specifically Christmas. So, and then I use this beautiful snowflake die that comes with 6 snowflakes. And again, this is an Anna Griffin die. It is so pretty. And I just cut off a couple of the snowflakes because I needed a smaller section. And I used Bristol paper, and I don't know if you can tell, but it embosses beautifully because it's a nice heavyweight paper. Again, colored with Inktense pencils. I absolutely love this little fox. I think he's so cute. Added a tiny bit of trim on there. I left the inside of this one blank. But I love that. I think I'm going to send it to my sister for her birthday. And then, okay, last watercolor card. This is an older Unity stamp that I have, and I've been just doing a ton of watercoloring and thought I would just do some super simple cards with them. I've been doing a lot of simple stuff lately. I had these flowers in my stash that I had sugar coated a while back. Added a couple of pearls, and that's it. Really simple card. And then I have this stenciled card. So this Heidi Swapp Stencil, and it comes with a couple other leaves as well. I picked up over the holidays at some point. And this was really simple. I just used some of the Heidi Swapp. I think this might, the color might be Primrose, and sprayed this onto some watercolor paper, and then I inverted it. So also on the paper I used the inverted where I had sprayed on top of the stencil, and then just cut out the leaves. I think I stamped a couple of extra leaves here, and it also looks like I used some gesso on these leaves, and they just hold the little sentiment card inside. Used love dye. I also on this used some vellum to cut out the Tim Holtz like spiral flower there, and added a few hearts with some Wink of Stella here and there, and on the leaves. So pretty simple card, but this was really fun to make. I haven't had my sprays out in a while, and there's a new one, I think it's called Raspberry, that I want to pick up. And then this is, it's called a, I think it's called a puffy flower. I will put a link below to the tutorial on YouTube. It's super easy. I made a couple of other ones this morning. Well, let me get to those in a minute. And I wanted to do something with it, so I made kind of this little bit vintagey colored card. I picked up the new, I think it's DC Die Cuts with a View lavender sack, something like that. And so I cut out the flowers and popped them up. I put this little round spray of pearls behind there. Oh, anybody that has this Fiskars punch, it's an old punch. I think it's like the original, like one of my very first punches that I bought. I always have a hard time getting it to cut. I'll get 3 of the corners cut right, and the 4th one won't cut right, because you really have to line up the paper perfectly in this punch. So after having it for years, I finally figured out if you turn the punch upside down and put your paper in so you can see that it is lined up correctly, you can just use your hand and press the punch down, because it has that big button on the other side. And I had no problem cutting out these corners. So if you have that punch, you might know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's this punch I was talking about. I just wanted to show you guys or demonstrate super quick. This is the Fiskars Romantique punch. You can cut out 3 different corners with it, and typically you would put your paper in and hope that it's aligned correctly and punch it out. But I have found no matter how hard I try, it sometimes it is just not lined up correctly. So what I've started doing is turning the punch over, and I put the paper in, and you just want to make sure that your paper is resting against those 2 bars, and you can hold the paper there and then just punch down. And I'm finding that it comes out perfect every time, because you can see that it is properly lined up. This yarn that I used is the Vanna White yarn, and so it has that sparkle in it already. And then I made a couple more of these puffy heart flowers. This one came out a little bit better. I made these with the Celebrated twine. There is 100 yards on here, and it's really nice. It's stiff twine, but I got it 80% off yesterday at Michael's. So it is a little bit hard to crochet with. This I did with a size D hook. This one I did with a size E hook, and I think it came out a little bit better. Let me hold it against something that you can actually see here. I have to finish them off, and I'll show you guys a card when I get done. Another super simple card, and for all of these I believe I used watercolor paper, the Canson watercolor paper as a base. I've been using the Canson paper as a base for my cards and using the Strathmore paper for actual watercoloring. So that's all I have for right now. I do have several other projects started that I will share with you guys. Now that the kids are back in school and things have calmed down a little bit for the holidays, I am in the process over the next 2 months. I've given myself 2 months of cleaning out my room. I want to go through every section of my room, clean it out. I think what I'm going to do is take everything that I don't want, put it in a box, just decide what I might de-stash. I might do some just big combined boxes of stuff for a couple de-stashes, and if nobody wants it, I'm just going to donate it because I really need to clean house. But other than that, I hope everyone is getting caught up after the holidays, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye-bye.